Hi everyone, it's Colaiacovo with pepperitmarketing.com, and today I'm going to walk you through how I make an online quiz to use in my marketing. So what I'm going to do today is take you through the quiz program that I use, which is called Interact, and show you how I put together a quiz in a way that tries to get people interested in getting the answer and taking another step further with me. So it's actually going to become a lead magnet quiz. So I'm going to stop sharing my face here on the video, and I'm going to start sharing a little bit of my screen so I can walk you through all these steps so that you can create your own type of quiz to use as a lead magnet in your marketing. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is I'm going to give you some of the reasons and the background on putting a quiz together. So we talked before in another video that I did about some of the types of quizzes that you can do. So you can do a scored or a tally quiz or personality one. You can do an assessment, multiple choice, knowledge, trivia, all sorts. And I shared some do's and don'ts advice on putting together a quiz, and I'll put a link to that in this video as well, so that in the notes, so that you can take a look at that and make sure that you're putting together an effective quiz. So the things that I do when I'm putting together a quiz online, I want to make sure that I've got all the pieces that I need. So I typically follow this setup here is having a goal for the quiz. I want to have some sort of specific goal. I typically tend to make a call to action in my quizzes and try to make them a lead magnet. So I will typically do something where you may or may not get a full answer right away, or you might get an answer that would guide you into maybe looking for some other information from me. So then I have a quiz title, which tends to come more at the end of making the entire quiz and putting it together, just to make sure that I'm setting it up properly. Sometimes I find if you start with the title, you may not end up doing the title and using the title that you started with. So if you have one to begin with and it changes, don't worry about it. That's typical. So then I have the questions that I came up with for this, and then I'm scoring this one. So in this case, I'm going to give a point tally to each one of the questions, and at a certain level, if people are that number or lower, I'm going to be suggesting that they're probably wasting their time with their online marketing, and then I have the next step for them. So these are the pieces that I have together when I go into my quiz program and have ready, so that I'm all set to go in and use it. So where I go is, as I mentioned before, I have a program that I use. It's called Interact. So I go and I log into my account there, and they have a variety of different things. You can do polls, giveaways, depending on the level of account that you have. And they have all sorts of templates in there. So I'm going to hit create a new quiz, and you could create one from scratch. For the purpose of today, I'm going to use a template one so that there's a lot of the pieces will be put together, which is an easy way to get them set up for you, by the way. But sometimes you might like to customize them a bit more. So starting right off, they have a variety of industry types of quizzes that you can look at. In this case, I've kind of scoped it out. So a lot of times you may find that you end up going in, looking at the template there and seeing if it's useful for you or not. And if it's not, you go back and check out. So I've already checked out that the one that they have in the blogging is the one that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go to my next step. It's not necessarily an assessment one, because I'm not going to have one answer. I'm asking people for sort of a yes or no, and I'm going to give them a score. It's not a personality, so it is definitely a scored type. And then once I hit that, they will show the template. So they only have one here. You can preview it and take a look at it, see what it looks like. And I'm going to hit yes, this is the one that I want to use. So it loads up in here, and basically what you've got when you look inside here, there's a way to connect it to your email marketing system. They have different options that you can do, add your branding to it, social share settings, all of that kind of stuff. And then they have the cover of the quiz, the actual questions, and then the results down here. So they're actually giving people results in this one. Mine's going to be a little bit different, but I will show you what that means when we get down to that. So first things first, I'm going to look, this isn't the title that I want, so I'm going to copy my title from my quiz questions that I had over there. I typically go in and make my own images. I put my Pepper my image of Pepper on from my logo onto them, or I do something to make them a little more unique for me. But in this case, we'll just leave them as is for what we're doing for the purposes of today. Okay, so this one here is, you know, are you wasting your time with online marketing? And then we've got it all set up here to take the quiz. Now, one thing that I do like to do with all of these is go into the style and make sure that I change some of these colors so that I change them to my colors that are part of my brand. And the red is what I typically like to use for my buttons. I could change the font type if I wanted. I could change the image here. I could change, you know, the color of certain parts of the font that's on the red button, whatever it may be. So I just really wanted the red button there. I'm okay with that. And so now I'm going to go back to the content. So then you've got the questions that are all in here. So I'm going to click onto the first question. I'm going to go over and copy it from my actual question that I've got over here on my Word document where I've saved what I'm creating. I'm going to put in the question. And for me, I don't want these sometimes answers, so I'm going to delete those and get rid of that. And then I do have an answer score. So I'm just doing a simple score of 1 for yes and 0 for no's. And all you do is sort of set your answer scores here. So then you go to the next question. So I grab the question that I have, number 2 on my list, stick that in here, and fix up my typos. And then again, I'm going to get rid of the sometimes, and I'm going to set my answer score to 1. And using their templates that they have in here, you'll really see how easy it is and fast it is to set one of these up. So once you come up with the idea for your quiz, it's very easy to come in here and get this all set up and ready to go. So that's question 3. I'm going to put this whole thing together just so that you guys can see it all. I'm going to go into number 4. Get rid of the kind of answer because I want a yes or a no answer. I'm not looking for an in-between, which if you wanted to have that, you could have different responses and values for what you're going to be doing with the scoring on it. So here's my last one, number 5, not the last one. Set the score again, down to 1 for the yeses, 0s for the nos. Get rid of that. So a lot of these, when you're doing quizzes, one of the things you want to think about is what's your purpose with the quiz. That's why I had the goal that I had on the document that I started with. You know, I want people to be thinking about the foundations that they have set up in their business, and because the foundations for me are what make or break your marketing. And if you don't have a lot of your foundations in place, then in my opinion, you could be wasting time with marketing. So that's sort of the whole point of these questions that I've got up here, is to determine what they've got in place for foundations or not. And if they have not got them in place, then they probably need a little bit of help. So those are my 7 questions that I have. And when we look at the results, there's ways that you can do them. You can redirect them based on the score that they get. So what I could do is put in, you know, an answer here that if they got, this isn't typically what I'm doing. What I do is on this one, as I have it planned out to say if they have a score of 5 or less, they're probably wasting time with their blogging. So that's what I want to check in with them on this case. And so what they've got set up here and Interact is a way that, okay, if your score is 0 to 2, you're a hobby blogger, 3 to 5, you're casual, 6 to 7, you're a serious one. And they're just giving them some more information, you know, hey, you're a hobby blogger, you would have fun blogging, but just as a hobby. So I'm not looking to do that. I'm just basically looking to do one where we tell them, okay, your score was 0 to 4, so I'm going to change this and set it up here. And we've got the result, title, and image, and we'll put it in here. You scored 4 or, whoops, you scored 6 6 or more. And then in here, basically what I'm saying is, congratulations, you are probably not wasting your time with your marketing. So I could put this in here. I'm not looking to, and if I did that, basically what would happen is they would be given these two answers, okay? So one of, you're probably not wasting your time with your marketing, but I could put in there too, but do you want to learn a little bit more about saving time with your marketing? And then my call to action button here would take them to a lead page that I have set up for the freebie that I want to offer them, which is a free checklist on the 10 foundations you need to market your business online. So I could do this way. I'm not interested in giving them a variety. I would rather give them a definitive, you know, if you had 5 or less type of thing, then you need some help. And this is the kind of help that you're going to get. So we can set this up. I'm not going to go through the different ones. So I would actually get rid of this one here, because for me, I'm only looking if they got 6 or more, or if they got 5 or less, okay? So that's where I'm looking to put in their score. So this result setting here is going to be if they got 6 to 8. And then this last one is going to be if they got, whoops, the result settings is if they got 0 to 5. So with this one, with the 0 to 5, I'm going to put in you scored 5 or less. And in here, what I want to say to them is, this means you are most likely a lot of time with your marketing. So what I'm letting them know is that based on their score, they're probably wasting some of their time. And then I'm going to give them a call to action to let them know that I do have a way that they could, you know, look at having a better way of not wasting their time with their marketing. So what I want to do is give them the option where they can have, and they can learn and understand that if they got this type of score, I have a little bit more information that would give them something extra. So what I'm going to do is then add in sort of my call to action. I'm letting them know you're wasting a lot of your time with your marketing. If you want to see a change in your marketing and stop wasting time, start with this free checklist, the 10 foundations you must have in place to be effective with your marketing. And then I just put a little note, enter your name and email below to get instant access to this checklist. And then what I put in here is, yes, send me the checklist. And then this is what I'm going to connect to my email marketing system so that when they click this, yes, send me my checklist, it's going to basically add their name and email in, connect them to my email marketing system, and now they're right in my system automatically set up to go in a campaign that will deliver to them this free lead magnet that I have. So this is how you can take something like a quiz and turn it into a lead magnet. So what I would do is on both of them, I would add a little bit extra into this. So what I would do is essentially on the score where they did well, I would put in a little but. Because what's going to happen is this is going to essentially just give them one score result or the other based on what numbers they get with the score. So in this one, it's going to say, congratulations, you're probably not wasting your time with your marketing. Great job, type of thing. But you could still be wasting a little bit of time. So I'm just putting a little bit of fear into them that they could be wasting it. If they want to receive a little bit more information, then they could click and get this checklist as well. And so again, I'm going to put this in here, you know, send my checklist now type of thing. We'll just make it up a little differently and we'll save that. So that puts the whole quiz together. So if they get a score of, oh, hold on a second, these didn't change here. The result settings 0 to 5. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. This one was 6 to 8. I may have to do this backwards. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. Change these. So what they want is they want the 0 to 6 in here first and the 7 to 8. So let me see if I can make this change. Lesson that I learned today is the 0, 1 has to go first. So 0 to 5. So I will just go in and change what these would look like afterwards and change the words on them so that they're set the proper way for the scoring. So that sets the whole quiz up, but I still have some other parts to do with that. So I'm going to hit save just to keep saving that quiz. I always like to do that a little bit along the way there. And I'm going to go now to edit it. I've done the branding and the styling. I've set it up. I've set up the questions. Now I need to set up the integration. So this is where I really love Interact, is it allows you to go in and add and connect your email system in there. So I've already connected my Infusionsoft system in here. But what it allows you to do is you can pick out what kind of fields that you want to add in here. You can allow them to skip the form. Now we're going to have to, this is very new and recent, is that I am going to want to display a link to my privacy policy. And that's where the new GDPR compliance has come into place. So I can put that in there properly there. And these guys, like a lot of places, are actually putting in a checkbox that's GDPR compliant. If you don't know what that is, it's the General Data Protection Regulation that came out by the European Union and is going into implementation on May 25th. So Interact, this system, like many others out there, have gotten to their act together and basically put in little pieces and parts that everybody's going to need to make all of this work. So I'm going to tick for that to go in there as well. And then you can see that they're adding, this is the checkbox that we've got here. So I have a typical way that I would want to word this. They're telling you that it's just a little bit, you know, a little bit of a fill in the blanks. So you have to fill in the blanks as well. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and fix that. I will do that afterwards. As we can tell, I have my caps lock on here. That's okay. So this allows them, and if you have some standard wording, which is something that I have set in place, so by checking this box, you're also consenting to allow Pepper Marketing Services to send you our weekly educational promotional newsletters and emails. So along with your quiz results, you know, based on the quiz results. So I'm letting them know that this is what I want to do here. I'm going to actually change this again to my special Pepper Marketing color. I'm going to hit save. And then we've got the link to the privacy policy in there. I do want to have the first name added in at least as well. So once I tick that, it will put that in there. And then I hit save. And then the next part is the integration. So I would, whatever system you might be using, I use Infusionsoft, so I'm going to integrate that in there. It is already set up. Basically what I'm doing is with either one of these triggers scoring 6 or more or 5 or less, I can put in the type of action that I want to go with it. So in this case, I want it to add a special tag to this. And once they've got a score of 6 or more, we're going to get a special tag. That tag that I put on them then sends the campaign that I want these people to get within my system. So that would set it all up. Once I'm all done, then basically it's going to set up the entire quiz so that it's integrated fully with my email marketing system. And then you get a code that you can share and embed. Once I publish my quiz, then I can grab the code. So I just want to use the code embedded on my website. So I take this code that we've got in here, I copy it to my clipboard, and then what I do is I've got a page on my website. I'll just hit the edit part here, hold on. and I embed that code in onto this page. Set up the page just as you would normally, and then when people come to this page, which is the page you're going to market in your systems, they will see the quiz in there, and it just pops right up, and there it is, and you start it up and you can hit start on the quiz. With here, I just wanted to show you, I don't know if this will show me what the ending part is. Yeah, so if we'll just go through the quiz and I'll just show you quickly what it would look like. Somebody went all the way through. So then you come to the end, tally up your scores. If your answer is this, you're wasting your time. You may want to get this, send my checklist now. And basically they click on there and it takes them to the landing page where they can sign up for it. So that is how you can set this all up as a quiz using the Interact system. And I hope that helps you all figure out a really good way to do a lead magnet quiz to help you build your list. This is Colaiacovo with pepperitmarketing.com. Have a great day and have fun building your quiz.